Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome back to Cursed Mining Live. Please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear and if the music is coming through to you. Also hopefully not too loud, otherwise this is for nothing. Welcome everyone. So I thought to myself, with the ETHEREUM Merge right around the corner, and this time it feels like it actually might happen, I thought let's talk about what I'm currently mining before the merge and might do during and after. And I thought to do this live because all the data we have will change in 1 week probably. So live we can have a little bit of conversation, maybe have some questions and can answer them later. Welcome. Hi guys. No music, but we hear you. Is it coming through now, guys? I'll turn it up a little bit. Let me see. So we also, but you can hear me, that's the most important thing for now. Let me know about the music. Otherwise I have to turn it up a bit. We have 2 cameras as well today, but to be honest, it's a little bit for nothing because we will spend most of our time here today. So some of you might already know this. This is Monero Ocean, and the dashboard of it might look a little bit intimidating, but it's not as bad as it seems. And we did a little video about it. It's an algorithm switching pool for Monero, but in the video we focused on the CPU side of things. But the thing is, you can also mine with your GPUs to it and get paid in XMR, which I like very much. So today I want to give a little intro on how to do that as well with NVIDIA cards. So we will take a look at how to do that in Windows with Trex Miner, and I will tell you later why I chose Trex Miner and not the classical XM rig like you normally would for Monero. And then I also want to take a look on the same thing but in HiveOS, because of course I know many of you are using HiveOS, and it's a few simple settings and you can have your GPUs up and running there. Good. I think we will also talk through the workers a little bit so that it makes more sense. So the example rig today, for example, is a 1660 Ti and Super rig, simple and efficient, and we will set it up with that. So now you have a better imagination of what that are, who those workers are. For example, that rig is this one here. Then we have another RTX 3000 rig you saw in the last live stream. The 3090 had to go, it was too warm, but the 3070 moved in there, but it's only 3 cards. And the rest is only singular cards, as well as CPUs. And in the end there you see some funny experiments. So if you see Snapdragon and know what that is, those are actually smartphones that are indeed mining Monero, but not really. They are algo switching, other funny experimental things. And we will do a dedicated video on that. Today is all about GPUs. So I noticed, and also to explain the hash rate while we are still at the dashboard here, it might look a bit confusing because we are not directly mining Monero with our GPUs. Let me get that straight. Some people thought I'm crazy because I called this video GPU mining Monero. We of course indirectly doing it. So Monero Ocean allows us to mine something else with the GPUs and then pays us in Monero. just to make it clear. But what you see right now is still hash rate in kilohash. So that is how it would be measured in Monero terms. you see it because I'm here on pay hash rate. If we switch to raw hash rate, you see what the actual mining hash rate is. And I might have forgot to mention right now, sorry for the confusedness guys, right now that rig is actually mining still Ethereum, but on Monero Ocean. So in HiveOS we see 185 mega hash, and I noticed that after letting them run for a while on Monero Ocean, we are actually, how should I say, a little bit more hash rate is actually arriving at the pool than I should have. And that's what I noticed in my 1 or 2 weeks of mining there, which is interesting. First, because I noticed my payouts being a little bit higher. First, I thought it might be that my, let's say the things that are mining exotic coins are finding blocks, because I saw that in the, how should I say, show your block payments. You can see them on Monero Ocean. So you see how much you are getting paid for other blocks. So I thought it's that, but I also realized that just the ETH rigs right now are performing better than they would be purely mining Ethereum, which is interesting. Your mileage may vary here from everything from, you know, your distance to the pool service and everything. It's just something I noticed. And also, unfortunately, because we are so shortly before the merge, we have to take those things again with a grain of salt, because numbers will change. There will be a lot of chaos. But I do think that Monero Ocean is a very interesting tool to have in your repertoire of how you can redirect your mining power. Also, shortly on that, before we jump into how to set it up, I thought that this bull market, it would have been a very interesting strategy to use it, because Monero did go up less than Ethereum in the, let's say, hype of the bull, but then also now went down less from the top than Ethereum. So if you would have been mining, basically cost averaging through Monero Ocean, you might have earned more Monero, while ETH was, say, above $4,000. And then on the way down, you would have lost a little less buying power. So that's nice. And I do think it might be a viable bear market strategy, but again, it will depend on how the mining landscape will develop. Good. Next, I would say we take a quick look at the little settings you have to take care of in Trex Miner for it to mine to Monero Ocean, because you need to give it some variables for the ETH proxy. And yeah, why I'm using Trex Miner and not XMRig is the simple reason that I'm using NVIDIA cards here, and Trex, you know how it is, it's specialized for GPU mining and just gives you, in my opinion, more control, because you have settings like, let me show you, which you know from NVIDIA Ethereum mining, the absolute core clock, which you see in the top right corner right now. So that's the reason. And through some settings, we can still use our usual GPU mining software to just point to that pool, which for me is, how should I say, more convenient than setting up XMRig for that, which is also easy to do. You just, for NVIDIA, need the CUDA plugin, and I'm sure you could find some other way to set the absolute core clock, but I'm just showing you how I do it. So we go back to the start. So in the bottom, you see a typical batch file, which you would have for your mining software. In my case here, as mentioned, it's Trex Miner. And where it starts is at first we define the algorithm, ethash. And of course, after the merge, we will define something else. And we will talk more about the algorithm aspects, algorithm switching aspects later. But just about those variables now. Next, you would usually give it the pool address, but instead of this simple stratum, I chose the stratum 2, because that's basically it's called NiceHash stratum, even though it has nothing to do with NiceHash. It allows the ETH proxy to work. Basically, it allows me to have my Monero address here instead of my Ethereum address while still mining Ethereum. I hope that makes sense. So it's not the algorithm switching, but it's for the ETH proxy. So let's go step by step. Okay, we start from 2, then we give it the pool the address of the pool. Of course, you can find everything in the description. Next, we give it our Monero address. So not your Ethereum address, but your Monero address, or whatever else address, what you're mining, it's your Monero address. And then we come to the important variables, which took me some time to find. It will, some things will change a little bit depending on the software you use. For example, if you use a Gminer and bminer or some of the others. And you can also find an example for those in the description under this stream. But for T-Rex right now, in the password field, you would first give it your worker name, and this is simply how your worker appears on the pool site. And that's simply how the worker will appear. But next is the important thing. It's this little wave symbol. I found out it's called tilde, and then ethash. So we have to tell it the algorithm, and next define to the coin we want to mine. So we give it the two we give it the 2 stripes, we call it them, you know what I mean? I will copy it for you under the video. I think that's easier. And then we still have to define Ethereum. So that's it. Yeah, that's it. Because afterwards we still have the worker, which is just from my old setting, and the absolute core clock I told you about, but that has nothing to do with the pool. So in case I was a little bit confusing right now, let me repeat it one more time. The steps you have to do for T-Rex in Windows. So first, we have to define the algorithm, ethash. Then instead of the usual stratum, we connect to the second stratum. Then the pool address. Then your Monero address, not the address of the coin you are mining. And the important 2 variables, again, is to define the algorithm in the password section with this tilde thing and the algorithm, and then again the coin you are mining. That's it for Windows. Sounds more complicated than it is, and after that you can basically never think about it again. Let me just switch the window here and check the chat. Hello Tech Therapy. Hey, nice to see you, sir. I know that I still owe you answer to your message that I saw. I have to be very honest with you, I'm way behind on those kind of messages. And right now, slowly trying to get back into the game, but I'd love to connect again. And guys, if you're in the chat and see Tech Therapy, check his channel out. There is some amazing gear shots on there. So, first step is done. We did how to set up T-Rex miner for MONEROOCEAN in Windows. And next, we will do the same in HiveOS. So again, here you see 1660 Ti and Super Rig. And then we switch to the flight sheet. If you don't know HiveOS, there is a HiveOS guide on the channel, which goes through the whole setup and everything in, I think, 5 minutes. But ultimately, you end up at your flight sheets. Next, we edit it. And basically here, we again define coin Ethereum. If that is what you're mining before, we will talk about some other options of MONEROOCEAN in a bit. As wallet, I gave it my Ethereum wallet, but it does not matter because in the pool setting, we have configured in miner. So for GPUs and Ethereum, there is no preset for MONEROOCEAN in HiveOS yet. Unfortunately, maybe it comes at some point. But if we tell it configure in miner, what we tell the miner will overwrite whatever is out there. So let's take a look at that now. And it's basically the same things, just slightly different variables. Let's say it like that. Up there, we define ethash, then our wallet template, and here again your Monero address, which will overwrite the ETH address. Worker name is not important. And then in the pool URL again, stratum2 with the pool address. And in the password field, also again, the worker name you want to appear with the tilde and the ethash again, or the other algorithm we'll talk about in a sec. Last but not least, which took me some time to figure out, also in the bottom, again, we have to define the coin. And here, as you see, it's a bit different than the batch file was before. But it's just, how do you say, the symbolism is different. So it's, you see, you can compare it on screen. It's easier like that. But I thought to just copy all those things in the live stream after that. Just give me a few seconds. And we have Red Panda Mining in the chat again. Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. We are GPU mining Monero today. Okay, guys. Was that everything in the flight sheet? Yes. So also we will quickly repeat. We have ethash defined up there, then your Monero address in the wallet template. The worker name is not important. Stratum 2 instead of normal stratum for MONEROOCEAN. And then in the password field, we have to define the algorithm, as well as below the coin, we have to define the coin. And that's it. I will not apply the changes now because it's already mining to it. So you don't see it in HiveOS at all. It's just mining ETH as usual. But it's on MONEROOCEAN, getting paid in Monero. Hello, hello, good sir. Monero on a GPU, my life is complete from Red Panda Mining. Yes, MONEROOCEAN makes it possible, so I thought to make a video about it. It's pretty awesome. So where did I want to go now? Exactly, so we did Windows setup with Trex, we did the HiveOS setup. I'm always way too fast with those kind of things. So I think I told you everything I wanted to tell you. But yeah, no, we didn't. So let's look at the other coins. That's what I wanted to tell you, because of course, right now, before the merge, I'm still using it to mine Ethereum to it. Oh, how to say, let my GPUs mine Ethereum, but get paid in Monero. But MONEROOCEAN also offers some other options like ETC, Ergo, Ravencoin, and I hope that there will be some more. But of course also on the CPU side of things we have some interesting stuff like ETHEREUM. So I do think it's an interesting tool for after the merge, possibly. But again, I think I've repeated it 1 or 2 times. We really have to see how the numbers will develop on there. So that's also why I don't necessarily want to go for the algorithm switching, for the automatic algorithm switching on the GPUs. You can also set it up, and we might do a separate video about that, but it does not make too much sense for me because depending on what I'm mining, I have a very, very different setting. It's okay if it's ethash coins, it will be the same setting, but if it's other coins, I'd rather do that manually, to be honest. So basically, I will take a look at it and then see what's viable to mine. Again, mentioned right now, even though unfortunately the numbers will change, it seems to earn slightly more than it should with purely mining Ethereum, but that could be a few different things, to be honest. Good. Last but not least, I think I'm spoiling some upcoming experiments on the screen with MONEROOCEAN. So I think you already heard that I really like the how should I say, platform. I don't always want to say tool. So there is a server mining to it, but there are also smartphones mining to it. So you can basically mine Monero with e-waste. And mined Monero, you might have heard me say it a few times, but mined Monero, in my opinion, will always be worth more than bought Monero, because Monero is one of the few blockchains private by default, and that's one of the reasons I'm such a big fanboy of it, which you might have heard. But still, it's only as anonymous as the user's operational security behind, so as your OPSEC. So if you buy them at an exchange where you have KYC and did your know your customer, verification, then it can still be linked to your address. purely mined Monero are almost impossible to link to your address. Again, of course, except if you use it at a verified exchange or something. So that's why purely mined Monero in my book are always worth more. And I like that the pool is taking care of all that, you know, the exchanging, the exchanging and directly sending to my Monero address instead of me having to have, you know, some account somewhere where I put my addresses in and have an email again and stuff like that. So yeah, I like Monero. you folks know, and this is an interesting tool how we can mine it. For the people who want to nerd a little bit deeper into it, there is deep documentation from MONEROOCEAN into their MetaMiner. So that thing would allow you, as mentioned before, to connect to it, and then it switches the algorithm of the GPUs as well, depending on what's most profitable. But it needs a little bit more setup, and I think maybe a dedicated video. It could be interesting. But yeah, it's so shortly before the merge that I thought, everything will change. It's a time of we have to watch and see what happens. We have to watch and see what happens, yeah. And I think same as you, it's not all the things I have are on there yet, because, how do you say, still trying to get the payouts of the other pools I have mined to in the past, because yeah, I think every one of us has to take care of those things now. And then I do think we will enter a new world of mining, to be quite honest, and nobody of us can know how it will look. But what we can do is educate ourselves about tools. There are things we can use to, you know, cost average or make our life easier on the site. And I think MONEROOCEAN is one of them. Thank you, everyone. I have one question. Can you do a guide later on how to use MONEROOCEAN? Yes, sir. So in this live stream, you saw a little bit on Trex and HiveOS. So if you want to rewatch it, I'm always way too fast with everything I want to say. So we are below half an hour, I see. So that's fine. That's okay. I don't want to waste anyone's time. And there is an introduction video to MONEROOCEAN on the channel as well. You can take a look at that. But I appreciate it very much. So yeah, folks, I say thank you, everyone. A very exciting week ahead. I still hope everything goes well. I know many miners are salty towards the merge, but you know, it is what it is. We can only adapt to whatever comes our way and think of some strategies and take things as they come along. I say thank you, everyone, for tuning in for just Sunday evening, in my case, live stream. Nice to see you. It's nice to have some reappearing faces and some people. I appreciate every one of you for tuning in, and every one of you who watches this later on. I very much like MONEROOCEAN and want to bring it to as many people who are interested in Monero as well. And yeah, that's it. Happy mining to each and every one of you, no matter where you are. I wish all the best to everyone. Happy mining, and bye.